Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Patience Rose, and you're here live with Co-working Live with Red Worldwide. And we're excited to have you here today. And today is Tech Thursday. And so, as promised, we're going to do a hands-on today where we'll show how we build out the PWAs, the Progressive Web Applications. We talked about them last week. We talked about the purpose and the usefulness of it and how everyone who is in business can probably use an app in some way. And so depending on what type of business you're in, you can kind of figure out what's best for you. But we are going to kind of look at, some use cases and how we can build out this app using a particular software called Jotform. Roll my slides, please. We are so grateful for Lux Vision Studios being here with us. I apologize again about the background, but we're traveling, and so we are just kind of working with what we got in the traveling mode. So, well, we're excited that you guys are here to experience this with us. Okay, let's go. Slides. The first slide, please. Okay, so developing a no-code mobile app. And what does it mean for an app to be no code? Well, exactly what we said, meaning that it is one of those plug and play. You put in the information in there and the app is ready to go. It's available inside of a browser. If you missed last week's episode, you can find it in our podcast on YouTube, which is going to probably be the best place for you to go and see it. It's also on Instagram and Facebook, but it's easy to navigate inside of the YouTube app or either on our website in the homepage. You'll scroll down and you'll see it there, and just scroll down to the episode that talks about learning to develop a PWA, a progressive web application. And so in that episode, it was a precursor to this one where we talked about, everything, all things PWA, the fact that a progressive web application is really a website is what it is, but it's a website that retrofits to any type of phone or tablet or computer, depending on what it is that your device requires. It just automatically makes it look like an app on your device. And so it can be downloaded to your device, and you can use it to send notifications just like you could with any other type of app. There's lots of things that you can do with it, and depending on your type of access inside of Jotform, if you have a bronze membership, or a silver or gold, you won't be able to take the app and create like a domain name and make that domain name go to the app directly. However, you could take the app itself and give it a subdomain, which would mean that inside of the Jotform app, you can name it, put some sort of a name at the end of the URL and have it so that it's easy to find. Now, what I do like about it, and we're going to go through this agenda here, is that the app itself has some flexibility in that when you send it to someone in a text message, it actually shows up in a very cute little way, depending on whether you're sending it to an Android or an iOS phone. It will have a little box and it'll have your app icon sometimes in there, or it would have just the first picture of whatever it is that's inside of the app, which is kind of cool because that way you have a little bit of branding. Even if you have the free version, it's still going to give you a little bit of branding. And so that's something that, is really kind of a nice perk for a no-code app that could cost you $0 to make. And so this is one of the things that if you're on a budget and you are doing this for the first time and you want to just have an app to get some basic things done for your company, then this could be a way for you to do that getting started. Okay, so today we're going to just give you a little bit of an introduction, which I've kind of done a little bit already, but we're going to go a little further. And then we're going to give you an introduction to no-code development itself. Go back a little bit, Jerron, just back to the agenda. Um, can you go to the previous slide, please? The previous one to this, the previous to the agenda. Thank you. Okay, then we'll do an overview of Jotform. We'll talk about the key features of the software service as it is, and then we'll look at how you create a form in Jotform. How do you enhance the form? And then we'll talk about how to embed that form into the mobile app, some practical use case examples, and then some next steps. So with that said, now Roland, go to the next slide, please. Okay, so what is no code development? Well, no code development enables the creation of applications without requiring traditional coding knowledge. It empowers businesses to innovate rapidly and cost effectively by leveraging intuitive visual tools and workflows. And so, I mean, I always do suggest that people, at least draw out a diagram of what you want your app to accomplish, and have maybe even, a little Word document that you put together, some notes to say exactly how you want the app to function, what you want your clients or customers to experience, so that you can kind of achieve those things as you're, developing out your app. Even though it's a no code app, you're designing it. You are making it so that it is something that people will want to use and that they will go to over and over again. So what are the benefits of no code? Well, no code development offers benefits such as accelerated time to market. I can build it today and launch it today. I can build it in 15 minutes and launch it in 15 minutes, depending on the type of app it is. There's reduced development costs. There's a freemium model inside of Jotform that allows you to have 5 forms for free forever. And so you could develop out your app using those 5 forms, okay? Or not using any forms, just using the container along with some of the widgets, and based on what you're trying to accomplish, it may not be necessary that you have a form, but you can use it with forms, which is what Jotform is designed to do, to make it something that is actually useful inside of your company. Then, of course, there's increased agility in responding to market demands. Let me give you an example. We had an opportunity to bring some entity development to a particular area, and I needed to get the information from all of the customers quickly. We created a little app in about 30 minutes, and literally it gives you the option to give it a QR code, and I was able to put that QR code up on a screen when I was teaching somewhere, and people could use their phones, go to the QR code, fill out the form right then and there. They could actually download the app from the QR code to their phone, and they could use it again if they ever needed to get in contact with us. So it really does enable a broader range of stakeholders to participate in the creation process when you are democratizing app development, meaning that you're making app development easier for everyone who wants to participate in the development of an app for your company, or the weighing in on the app that you've already developed. And then for businesses, no code development is crucial for somebody that's seeking to streamline their app development process, and they reduce reliance on specialized developers and having to spend so much money to develop. And it fosters a culture of innovation across all departments, because when you teach everyone to use this simple system, it really can make it so that something that used to take a lot more time can now be deployed within an hour or within 2 hours. So, and it can be quickly prototyped and tested, right there in your company. Next slide, please. So let's kind of do an overview of Jotform itself. You see me having a form here, a piece of a form with the sign here, link, well, we don't call it a link now. That used to be a sign here, Post-it note, okay? That used to go on a piece of paper. And now with Jotform, you've got this versatile, robust, no-code platform that enables you to create something interactive where someone can actually sign inside of their phone effortlessly. You can deploy all types of, polls, surveys. You can actually even deploy courses right there inside of an app for free. So it's very interesting how this has been developed. And I'm going to show you quickly how you can do something today, right here, while we're working out our process of teaching you about Jotform. You can go to Jotform, get an account, and learn how to develop. So while I'm talking, why don't you all, go ahead and get started with, setting up a Jotform account if you don't already have one. I would love to give you our link, but not necessary for today. I'll put it in the chat for people who come after today, but we want you to be ready so that you can participate in the hands-on. So you can, while I'm chatting right now, just go to jotform.com and sign up for a free account. Okay, so you'll be ready when we get there. Okay, next slide, please. So some of the key features of Jotform, well, is that it has a drag and drop form builder, meaning that you literally, you'll see it in a minute, you click on something and drag all the way over to the side, the ability to, drop that portion onto the form right then and there. And so that feature is, and the functionality of it is so seamless, it just works. And then the other thing that you want to think about is the fact that not only do they have the drag and drop feature for the form builder, but the app builder works the same way. You drag things from the left to the right, and it goes right on top of the app. Then there's customizable templates. You have the ability to change the colors. You can put in your branding. You can add all types of other elements, icons and things to, really customize your forms, customize your app. There's conditional logic. Okay. And so with this feature, you can create dynamic forms that adapt to whatever the person's inputs and behaviors are, by setting rules and branching paths during that's based on the responses. The form can become more interactive, more personalized, and capable of capturing relevant data efficiently. And we're not going to go that deep to show you how to use conditional logic with your Jotform, but it is possible. Then there are payment integrations. You can use Stripe and PayPal and AuthorizeNet, Square. There's so many ways that you can get paid using your Jotform app, because it really is a wonderful thing for you to be able to participate in, getting paid, from Jotform. Okay. The other thing is that, there are notifications that are available inside of the app. So you can set it up where people, can notify or others from inside of the app. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a power management issue there. But the other thing is that the way that the app works, it actually can, stay connected to that one source, which is great, for the purpose of, making sure that you have access to the financial side of things. And if it's something happens where you need to change it, you can always go back to that same app and take to the form that's being used to collect the payments, take that one particular processor out and put in another one if needed. And then, of course, the notifications feature. I love the real-time alerts when submissions are received. Whenever somebody sends something through Jotform, I always get it, the notification in my email. I can have it sent to others' emails as well, and so that there's an efficient communication workflow. Next slide, please. Okay, so I like my little guy who's actually doing his work here. You know, he's creating, right? Okay. And so as we are thinking about the concept of creation, it really is child's play when you use Jotform. I kid you not. There's nothing difficult about it at all. You know, you can start from scratch or use a template. And I love that feature because if you already have something that you're doing and someone else is doing something similar, you can actually pull in a template and use that template and make it your own. Or you can start from a blank canvas and build out a custom form from the ground up. You can add text fields, check boxes, drop downs, all types of input, you know, areas for people to, you know, give you back information if that's what your form is requiring, or if that's what your app requires. Then you can also customize the appearance, you know, again, make it your own, put your brand identity on it, give it your colors, make the layout what you want it to be. All of those things are available inside of the Jotform app. We're going to look at it in a minute. I just want to make my way through making sure you understand what it is and how it functions. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so you add your own concepts to the form. You know, like I said, you can use the conditional logic. And if you're implementing conditional logic to create the dynamic form experience based on your user responses, when based on what it is that the user does, it could take them to another section that will allow them the ability to gain access to the information that they're seeking. Let me give you an example. I created an app for a client, and basically he needed the app to function differently for the different classes of people that were using it. For example, people who worked for him, there was one way that the app needed to function for them, but people who actually were the end client of his company, they had a different experience with the app, because when they input their information, then they took them to a different place in the app and it functioned very differently for them. And then the end client of their end client also had a different experience, because when they went in and put in their username and password, they got a whole different view of the app. So the app has the ability to be used in that way. And then when you're integrating the payment gateways, you know, it's seamless, it's secure, and it enables the payments to be made directly to the client, as opposed to, you know, having the ability for you having to receive the payments and then forward the payments, or split the payments through payment source, and, you know, then get the amount that you're supposed to have. If you're using a specific gateway, it will always work with your gateway, as long as it's one of the gateways that works with Jotform. And to set up the notifications for the real-time alerts, that's going to be a feature that you can actually customize to even send email responders, you know, back to the person who is filling out the form or interacting with that section of the app. So they'll get an email and you'll get an email. Your email will say you've got a new submission. Their email is going to say, thank you for making a submission, or thank you for using our app, or whatever you want it to say. Next slide, please. So how would a form be embedded into a mobile app? Well, we're going to go to Jotform in just a second and I'll show you. But the one thing that you'll have to do is you'll use a Jotform app builder to actually build out the app. Okay. And then inside the app, it has the ability for you to add forms. When you add forms, it'll seamlessly convert those forms into, you know, the right kind of application, you know, inside of the form builder. But you could also you could turn a form into an app by just building the form first, and then telling Jotform system to turn that form into an app. Now, you could just as easily build the app and add forms. Okay, so it works both ways. So when you go to customize the app icon and the layout and navigation, that's pretty simple because it's just a matter of you uploading your logo or uploading your image that you want to be used on the home page of whoever's phone or device that they downloaded. You'll upload that app icon and you'll tell it what color you want the background to be. It's a very simple scenario. Now, there's no functionality for animations and all that kind of stuff when the app is opening. However, inside Jotform, I have a way of rigging it, okay, so that it gives you back, if you're using a GIF or some other type of image, you could very well create a wonderful experience for a client that gives you the movement and animations that you might want. It just won't be at the home screen. Then you can test it on, of course, different devices to make sure that it's working properly for you, to make sure it retrofits seamlessly the way you want it, and it functions across all screen sizes. Some things are a little wonky, so you don't want to use something that's going to take a long time to load, or you don't want to use things that are, for whatever reason, created in such a way that they're just not as functional. So, as you're thinking about your app, you want to be thinking about, how do I make it easy? How do I make it something that everybody can work with? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so some practical use cases. Well, you could create a feedback form. Okay, and so we're going to play with it in a minute. So I want you to have in your mind what you're going to do with yours. But you could create a feedback form. You could develop a feedback form that would be tailored to gather specific information or specific insights or opinions from customers, providing a structured platform for collecting this valuable feedback. If you have been used to having what we used to call a feedback box at your company where people can, put in, some, information in the box to let you know how well you're doing. You could do that on your app. Okay. And as you see here in my little picture here, how was your day? And the interesting thing is Jotform has the ability for you to use the smiley faces or stars or something, to collect that kind of feedback. You could also customize and integrate into the app, tailoring the feedback form to suit your app's design and functionality, which will give you a seamless integration and a cohesive experience for your users. And then the benefits of using the app to collect feedback. Well, for me, it has been amazing because every person that has ever been to a keynote that I've done or to some other kind of event that I've done, when they put their information in Jotform, it saves it in a spreadsheet. So now I have an email list, a group of people that I can respond to and say, hey, you attended one of my sessions and I promised you a book. Here you go. Okay. Or thank you for your feedback. Here's a download. I mean, all of those things can work out really, really well when you use, an app like this. Next slide, please. So some next steps. Well, as I said, I wanted you to sign up for Jotform. Registering gives you access to the full range of features and tools for creating no-code apps and forms. So you can actually create an app today when we go there in a few minutes, so you can, get started. And then you want to start building your no-code app right away. And, you can play around with it. If you don't like that one, you can actually throw it in the trash and do another one. That's the wonderful thing about using a free service or a service with the freemium model, that you can test it and play with it and make sure that it works. You can build out one, send it to a few friends, and if they say they like it, then you can go back and finalize it, and it can become the one that you use. So it's just a few things to know, that you have a limit of 100 people on the free, or 100 submissions on the free version. So there's some other things that you'll have to take a look at on the free version. so that you'll know what you have access to. But the good news is that to get a bronze membership really doesn't cost that much, and you can move up in the memberships based on what your needs are. I know that also if you're a nonprofit, every now and then they run a special 50% off for nonprofits. And sometimes they run specials for everybody where they'll give everyone 50% off. So, it's a great opportunity. I shared with some people last week who were on that I've been using Jotform since its inception. I was a beta user of the software many, many, many years ago. I really loved it and I stayed with it. And I have been a recipient of one of those grants that they give out every now and then to nonprofit organizations where they give you the ultimate version of the app to use for a period of time. We had a 3-year grant and it was wonderful. We had HIPAA compliance, so we could use it with our alternative wellness program as well. And so it just is amazing, amazing software to use in that way. Okay, so now I've said enough. Let's play with it. Okay, Javon, let's go to the screen showing Jotform. All right, here we go. So now we're inside of Jotform, and inside of Jotform, you can see that this is actually an enterprise version of Jotform. We are enterprise users and actually a reseller for Jotform. So we have this wonderful account that allows us all the bells and whistles, which gives me the ability to teach. Okay, so which is what we use it for mostly. So we have the ability to just go to create a form. And so I just want to show you how quickly and easily you can do that. Okay, and so I'm clicking on the create a form and it's not giving me the option to create the form. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Hold on. Give me just a second. I may need to do this here and see if there we go. Okay, so you see we can start from scratch, use a template, import a form, or create a signable document, which in this particular case, you can actually upload a PDF and go from there. But we're going to just say we're going to use a template. So when we click on choose a template, now remember how I stated that you could actually use something that someone else has designed? Well, let's see that, let's see what type of options do we have. We have all types of forms already in here. I mean, there are thousands of forms in here that people have created. The community of developers and designers of these forms is huge. See, just for consent forms alone, there's 1,430 of them. Okay, so there are lots of options for forms, and some people have spent a lot of time really making the forms look nice. Let's preview this one. Okay, so we are looking at a form preview. So here, somebody can order, from this restaurant, a restaurant order form. Look at how neat that looks. It's very neat where you see what it is that you want to order, and then you could actually click on it, how many you want, and just like at any other restaurant, when you're choosing online, maybe for DoorDash or for something else, you could do the same thing, but inside of their app, which is kind of cool. Okay, and so you have the options to use this to do many, many things. So let's just look at the different types of forms that you can create. There's a classic layout, which is that layout we just looked at a few minutes ago. And then there is a card layout, which is a kind of a cool thing. So in that same restaurant order form, here you have the ability you can order now, delight and joy. And they give you the ability to order crispy onion rings, and you can order 2 orders or 3 orders. And each time that person chooses, it actually, gives them the ability to see whatever else it is on the menu, and it tells them how much it costs, and they can go to it and put their quantity, and it's going to do the math, add to the bag. And then when they get ready to pay for it, they're going to click on next. They'll put in their name. They'll put in their email, they'll put in their phone number, and it'll say whether you want to request delivery or whether you want to pick it up. Now, remember, this form, when they hit submit, is going to go to the email address that you set up. So if you're a restaurant, you put in your information in there, it's going to come to your email telling you that somebody has made an order. So you put the delivery address in there, and then they can send out the car with your email. You can actually add comments or have someone to put comments in there so that they can say, hey, I want, an impossible patty instead of beef or whatever that is. And then you choose the payment method, debit or credit card. It will give you the option to put in your name. And we can't go any further with that because we have to put a name in there. But just to kind of show you what that would look like, the delivery address is there, the comments there. Okay, the information for their credit card details, and then there will be a submit button. And when they hit submit, then automatically what will happen is it pays for the order and it sends the order to someone's email. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of the types of things that you can do in terms of the forms. Now, quickly, I want to take you to the area where the apps are, because remember how I said you could build out a form and turn that form into an app? Well, let me just go backwards for a minute. I want you to see my forms, and let's show you how easy it would be for me to turn one of the forms that I've already created into an app. So I have a referral form, right? And this referral form, I can go to edit, and this shows you a referral form that I have built out for this company. Now, if I wanted to turn this form into an app, it's just this simple. I could simply go here and make sure that all of my conditional logic is right, if that's what I need to have. I can make sure my thank you page looks right. My integrations are correct for the form. And then if I have an approval process that has to go on once a person submits the form, it has to go to someone to be approved. I set all of that stuff up, make sure all of it's right. And I make sure that my notifications are right as well, because I might want to set it up to receive notifications. And then I can hit publish and know that this app is now ready for publishing, okay? Or it's actually published already. So now here is my link that I can actually put into the text messaging area of somebody's text that I'm sending, or I could actually customize it a little bit by adding, instead of having numbers there, I can give it a name, or some interesting number that would be something that it was appropriate for me. I can share the form on Facebook, WhatsApp, X, and LinkedIn, and I can also get a QR code. All right. And if I wanted to create an app to store all of my forms in one place, I could do that too. Okay. So here I can actually create an app from this form. I do not have to go back to the process or through the process of creating an app and then adding the form. I could actually take this form and turn the whole form into an app. But in this particular case, I actually created an app, and I use this form in the app. So let's kind of look over here at our app builder. We have all kinds of builders in this section where it says form builder. We want to go to the app builder, which is this one down here in the corner. And when we click on that one down there in the corner, it's going to take us to the, in this particular case, this is the app that I created for this company, but this is going to take us to the app. So we want to go to the place where we can create an app. Now, these are all of the apps that I've created. And I want you to see that, I have a few apps that I've created. And let's just look at some of the things that I've done. So I've got this calorie counter app, which is kind of fun. Okay, let's look at this one. And I just did this one based on a template that's right here inside of Jotform. It didn't require anything extra from me, except that I just, went in and looked at what they already had available and added something, on it for me. And now I have a calorie counter. Okay. And so when I push the preview button, it's going to let me see what it looks like on a phone. I apologize. I'm just a little bit slow. We're a little bit low on battery, but we should be able to get through this. Okay. And so basically it's, I don't know, it's not allowing me to go all the way to the preview. Um, and it could be just because of what's happening on my computer at this time. I apologize for that. But for the most part, you'd be able to see this normally inside of retrofitted inside of a phone. And in doing that, you'd be able to see how you have the optimal calorie for males, the optimal calorie for females, and you can click and it will take you to a place, where you can see your calories, okay, or place your calories and get some stats. And then based, of course, on the food that you've eaten or you're going to eat, you could actually do, the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it from previewing. I think I can do that here by just doing this. It says it's unresponsive. Okay. Let me see if I can preview it in another window. Okay. Not so. So we'll work with what we got. But for the most part, one of the things that I wanted to be able to show you is that you have the ability to add all types of widgets. By clicking over here to add element, you can look at the different kinds of things that you can drag and drop onto this app. So you have tables and dividers and testimonials, image sliders, image galleries. These images were added by just clicking on this image and pulling it over and placing it in there. And it gave the ability for you to put whatever picture you wanted to put in that app. When you go to widgets, you got all types of widgets. I mean, from a PDF embedder, you could fit some text as a header in there. You could put in here an iframe, so you can put code in here if you like. It will allow you to put a QR code. You could put your Instagram page. You could put your YouTube page, SoundCloud, WhatsApp. All of these can go in here. X. You has a widget for X and Spotify. You can load all kind of content in this app. So one last thing I want to show you, because we're almost out of time, but I just want to show you this because I think it'll be really beneficial that you have the ability to, inside of your app, okay, you can, I'm going to go back to the app builder because I wanted to show you ours. You can actually put several types of forms. So in this case, what I did is go back to my apps, okay. Okay, I'm going to go to the Red app because I want to show you. That's our Red referral app. Let's see if I can go to Red's actual app. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Oh, so this is the new app. Okay. So I'm not able to really go back to let's go to one of the other ones because I think that we do have one in here that will give you what it is that I wanted you to see. Let's see. Here's one that I think I showed once before, the Precision Financial Tracker. Okay, so inside of this app, this is what I wanted to show you. You could very well put a GIF file that actually will, create the ability for you to have a moving images. So remember how I talked about having animations? Well, that's what I did here, is I created animations by just using a GIF file. For each one of these pictures, they're a GIF, and every time you click on it, it goes to another one, so that you're able to see all of the different images that we wanted in this particular section. But each one of these areas are links that will take you to a particular thing that you can do something within the app. And which is kind of cool because it does give you the ability. Here we go. Now you're able to see what it looks like on a phone. So this is the retrofitted version for, maybe an iPhone or some other kind of small phone. And you click on income and it's going to take you to what would be a spreadsheet. Now that spreadsheet is going to look Very, very interesting inside the phone because it'll give you the ability to see all of your income. And then you can log a receipt by uploading receipts. You can log your reimbursements, and then you can get to a budget, which is pretty cool. And so that's how it would look on a phone. Here's what it would look like on a tablet. Same app, but just retrofitted for a tablet. And then this is what it would look like on a desktop. Pretty cool. Okay, so I just showed you what I could do. Now, I want you to play with it. We're going to be jumping out of here in just a second, but I want you to get an opportunity to play with it. So remember, when you get in, all you're going to do is click on the form builder when you're starting. It says app builder right now because we're already in the app builder, but you click on form builder and it will give you an option to go to the app builder. When you click on my apps or app builder, it will take you to a section where you can create an app. Once you click on create an app, you have options: start from scratch, use template, or you can build a store or clone an existing app that is already being used by you, and you just want to create another one to look just like it. When you click on use template, it's going to take you to a section that looks just like the template store for the forms. But this is for apps, and you can choose from all of the wonderful apps that other people have created and made available in the App Store for you to preview and use. When you click on one that you like, then you can go ahead from that one and actually create an app. Okay, when you click on preview, it's going to take you to the preview so you can see what it looks like on your phone. You can try it out to make sure it does what you want it to do. And then you can click on use template if you choose to use it. And it'll take you back to the build section where you can build out your app. Now, all of this stuff that I'm telling you, Jotform has an amazing set of YouTube videos. So you can always just go to put Jotform app in the YouTube search window, and it's going to take you to an area where they do a much better job at teaching you all of the functionalities of the app and how it works. But I just wanted to introduce you to the concept of using no-code apps with your company because I felt like it was something that you could really dive into and have to do something really amazing with it. Well, this has been Patience Rose with Co-working Live with Red Worldwide, and we are so excited that you have been with us today, and we will see you again next time.